I was wondering the other day, would the RSI2 trading strategy work in Forex? Hi, my name is Hugh and welcome to another video. Now, if you've never heard of the RSI2 trading strategy, it was invented by Larry Connors and it's been shown to work very well on stock indexes. You can read all the blog posts, you can watch all the YouTube videos. However, I haven't seen any backtesting results when you use the RSI2 on the Forex market. So in this video, I'll give you the complete rules of the RSI2 trading strategy. I'll show you how to set this test up so you can do an automated test on any market that you want to find out information on. You can test it on the stock market, you can test it on cryptos, futures, whatever you want to test. And then I'll give you my results on what I discovered about trading the RSI2 method in the Forex market. First, let's take a look at the rules of this trading strategy. The indicators that you're going to use are the RSI 2 period, you're going to use the simple moving average 5 period, and you're going to use the simple moving average 200 period. For long trades, you're going to buy when price closes above the 200 moving average and RSI is below 5. And you're going to close out the buy when price closes above the 5 moving average. And you don't use a stop loss in this method, but don't freak out. This is such a short-term trading strategy that you're usually out pretty quickly, and that ensures that you won't incur such a big loss. Now here's an example. As you can see on that first example on the left, RSI is below 5, and that's where it entered a buy. Price shot up, and then it closed out above the 5 moving average. And that's what happened to the other entries also, and there was only one entry at the end that ended up as a loss, but that was because there was such a strong downtrend. So basically you're looking for an uptrend and then price to drop, and then you want to continue in the original direction, and it's basically just a reversion to the mean type trade. All right, so it's just the opposite for short trades. You're going to go short when price closes below the 200 moving average and RSI is above 95, and you're going to close out the short when price closes below the 5 moving average, and then there's no stop loss. All right, so here's some examples of short trades in my back testing. As you can see, when RSI was high above 95, it took a trade, and then when price closed below the 5 moving average, it closed it out. And I think all of these trades were profitable. Some of them were very slightly profitable, but they're all profitable. So as you can see, it takes advantage of the short-term moves when price snaps back. All right, so now let's get into how I set up this test so that you can set up this test if you want to. There's no coding involved. And just a quick reminder also, if you want to check out Larry Connors' books, he's an excellent trader, excellent researcher. So that's in the description below. But otherwise, let's move on to the setups. All right, now let's take a look at how I set this up. The first thing I did is I created some rules because this is a very rules-based trading strategy, so it's easy to automate. The rules manager allows me to build these rules with no coding. So I have the indicator value here. This is the 2 period RSI on the close, and that's going to be less than 5. That's the RSI setting, and then I want the close of the last candle or last bar to be greater than the 200 moving average, and then I want the open trades count to be 0 because I don't want to open multiple trades on the same currency pair. And I added this in because the RSI can stay overbought and oversold for a few candles. So this ensures that I don't enter multiple trades on the same signal. All right, so for the short, it's just the opposite. I did RSI 2 greater than 95 and last candle closes below the 200 simple moving average, and the number of open trades equals 0. All right, for the long, I'm just going to do an instant buy. I'm going to use 2 static lots because I'm not using any stop losses, so I can't calculate the percent risk. So I'm just going to start off with 2 static lots and take it from there. And it's the same thing with the short. I'm just going to sell 2 standard lots. And then I have an exit rule in play here, so I'm going to go to the exit rule, and the exit simply is the last bar is greater than the 5 moving average for the long, and the short exit is just the opposite. It's less than the 5 moving average. And then the action is to close the order. Then I put all of this together in a setup, and this is the long setup here. RSI2 core is just using these rules up here, right? And then the action is going to be to buy, and then the opposite for the short. Oops, this one, short. All right, once I have all these rules set up, I can either do this automated or I can manually backtest it and double check the results. So what I could do here is I could add the rules to the chart, and you'll see that. Okay, and then I will move forward, and you can visually inspect to see if the strategy is taking the right trades or not. And I'll add the 5 moving average is not appearing here, so I'll add that, and you can see the exits. All right, that's great, and that speeds up things a lot, but what if you want to do the test even faster? So I'm going to use the fast back test here, and this is going to just go through and test all of the setups, and you don't have to watch it on the chart. So I'm going to select, let's do the CAD yen. Then I'm going to go next. I'm going to select the daily time frame. You can select multiple time frames if you want, and then setup rules. And then I'm going to select the 2 setup rules that I created. And then I'm going to go next, and then I can see the parameters here. And then I'm going to hit the launch button, and then it's going to start testing. And I will speed up the video here so you don't have to sit through this bar moving. But at the end of this, I will show you the stats on this, and I'll also show you the stats on the other test that I did. The test is completed, so let's take a look at the results. So for this test, it showed a 75.46% growth on 142 trades, had 59.15% winners, and the max drawdown was 5.11%. So that's pretty good. This could be a good starting point for something. So let's take a look at the stats a little closer. All right, so now that I look at the stats, I'm not too excited about this. It did have a decent return. I mean, it was tested from July of 2005 until current, and it's, as you can see here, a lot of the growth was due to these 2 months. So 20%, these 2 years, 20% this year, 14% this year, and then it kind of dropped off. And as you can see from the graph, it worked really well in this area here, but then it went flat. So even though the stats look good on paper, this 75% growth, it only worked well for a certain period of time, and then it kind of dropped off. So I wouldn't want to trade this. But let's take a look at the results from the other currency pairs that I tested. Before I get into the results, there was one surprising thing that I discovered in my tests, and although these results don't look great, there was one shining example, and I'll get to that towards the end. But if you want to look at the stats and look at things that you could maybe work on or improve on or serve as a starting point for a strategy that you want to develop, then that's great. But as I'm looking through the currency pairs here, nothing stands out, and some of them were actually pretty terrible. For example, the pound New Zealand, it lost all the money in the account, so it had a margin call. Euro New Zealand was down 75% with an 85% or 86% drawdown. So not that great. So on this spreadsheet, the best one is the CAD yen, and that one has a really low drawdown and a decent growth for the amount of time that it was tested. So that's something you could look into to possibly improve. Overall, I would say that the Connors RSI 2 does not work for Forex. However, there was one exception, and I'll show you the chart. This is the one exception that I found in my testing that would work with the Connors RSI 2, and it didn't have quite as big a growth as with the CAD yen, but it does have steady growth, and that's the thing that I'm looking for. So as you can see, price goes up over time, and this was tested from 2003. So very reliable, and on the losing years, very small losses on the whole. So this was less than 1%, this was less than 1%, less than 1%, and then you had a couple of 2.5%, 2.7% losers. So not a big loss when it does lose, but steady gains when it does win. So if you want to find out what this currency pair is, as well as see the optimizations that I ran on this currency pair, then you can download the report. The link is in the description below, and that will give you the full report on this currency pair. And it's the only one that I feel is worth trading with the Connors RSI 2 in the Forex market. One great thing about this strategy is it's traded on the daily chart, so you have time to set up each trade. You don't have to look at the charts all the time. You don't have to be in front of the screens all the time. You can trade this with a day job. And even though the returns aren't huge in this test, you can change the risk management parameters to suit your needs. And this can just be another strategy that you put into your arsenal to diversify your trading and add on to what you're already doing. Now, if you don't want to miss any of these RSI trades, I highly recommend getting our MT4 and MT5 plugins that will send you alerts to your phone or your computer whenever the RSI 2 sets up. Links to those MetaTrader plugins are in the description below. And I also have some instructions if you want to set up RSI alerts on TradingView. So if there's anything else you want to see me test, leave a comment below and let me know. Otherwise, subscribe and hit the bell to get future updates and see more of my backtesting results. Thanks for watching.